Hmm. Yeah, that'll do. Hey folks, it's Mike. It's the end of the year, and as usual, I will be providing my top 10 of 2024. Decided to do things a little bit differently this year. It won't be top 10 photos, it'll be top 10 groups of photos. I mean, you can only put so many Aurora photos into a top 10 list. I wanted to give some of my other photos a chance to shine. Yeah, we'll get to it. I've been able to get out and enjoy the this past winter back in 2023, 2024. A little on the warm side. And as you can see with this photo from Birds Hill Park back in January, it's a nice little scene with a fir tree of some sort, spruce, something like that. But I will say it was a bit of an unusual winter where we didn't get a lot of snow and it was a lot warmer than it typically has been in past winters. As you can see in the at the bottom there with frost really instead of snow. Typically in January we've got a good amount of snow and we've got a pretty good head start right now here in December. But there's also this other photo from Bois d'Esprit back in February where it's a nice frosty scene on the river there. I had a vintage lens adapted to my 77D, and it's quite an interesting sort of abstract type scene. Not not your typical landscape, but hey, it works. And as well, I mean, you've got this this leaf sitting embedded in the ice. This was at Saint Vital Park back in March, and again, it's winter in Canada. You have to live through it. You have no choice, so you better to just enjoy. So yeah. And with this next group of photos, it's from various different adventures or shenanigans with Don's Photo, which is a local camera store here in Winnipeg. And with Don's, they host monthly hangouts with other photographers, and you get to do various things like photo walks and photographing models, and in this case, macro photography with, well, in this case, blueberries. They had set up little stations in their store to allow photographers to take macro photos. And this shot of the blueberries I really do like because you can really see the detail of the water droplets on the blueberries. And there's also, events like a scavenger hunt where back in March, we ran around the forks, completing various different scavenger hunt tasks. I don't remember exactly what this one with the pinball machine. Maybe it was something like take a photo of something with different colors and such. But it's always a fun time going around, completing the scavenger hunt tasks. And as well, there's also back in July, again at the Forks. The Don's crew met, with other photographers at the skate park there, and we got to, take photos of skaters in action, just to allow you to practice, sort of action shots, sports photography, that kind of thing, and it was a lot of fun. You just had to make sure that you were not in a position to get, run over. And one thing I also do like is taking photographs of cars. I'm not, I don't solely focus on it, but in the summer, places like the Pony Corral restaurant and host a Sunday night cruise where people with nice looking cars show up, and you get to walk around and admire the vehicles, and in my case, take photos of them. It could be shots like, say, this Mustang here, where it's a nice sort of full three-quarter shot, or this other one of what I had initially been told was a fusion of a Studebaker and a car from the 1990s. Doing a little research, I believe this is actually a 1950 Meteor, sort of melded onto the body of something like a Chevy Beretta from 1990. I don't really know all the facts of the story behind this vehicle, but it's a really nice vehicle. But aside from taking photos of like full shot photos of cars, I also like to get photos of various details, like, say, for example, the hood emblem of the Thunderbird on this, I think it was a 1957 Ford Thunderbird. And you've got in this photo with the evening sky with the the nice warm colors sort of beaming down on the car, and other detail shots like this. I believe this was a Cadillac of some sort. I don't remember. But I do like that this is, the detail of the headlights with the front bit of metal here with, just nice details. So yeah, I do like to take photos of flowers, including, say, this photo of lilacs in my own front yard, which I like lilacs. They smell nice. They look nice. Don't last too long, though. But flowers be pretty. That's all I can say. But I mean, I've also got, say, photos of this flower from Kildonan Park. I'm not very good on knowing the names of a lot of flowers. Roses, yes. Daisies, yes. Beyond that, yeah, I don't know. But I do like the colors from this particular photo. You've got the greens and the oranges, the pinks, the yellows. And this other photo that I took in the St. Boniface area, there was this flower. I don't know what it is, but there was a bee on top of it, which was really nice. And, nice and pretty. Flowers, I can't really explain much beyond why I like flowers. I just like flowers. I've been playing around with vintage lenses that I've adapted to my camera. They're old Canon lenses for old Canon film cameras that don't actually fit natively anyway on my 77D or my R50. But with the vintage lenses that I do have, I've got an adapter for the 77D. And they're not sharp. They're not particularly high quality, but they're pretty nice to work with. They give you a nice effect, and in some cases, lack of quality is a quality unto itself, and it's nice. Like, say, for example, this photo from the Red River campus on in the Exchange District. Don't ask me which street because I can't remember. I think Princess. But I used my Solagore vintage lens to take this photo, and you know, you can see it's not sharp. It's not capturing all the colors as you know you actually see them, but it's a nice effect, and I really I'm really happy with how this photo turned out. But I mean, like, I've also got another photo of this this kid just fishing on the shoreline. You can see parts of it are quite sharp, like the trees in the background. But as you go sort of around the edges, it's a little softer. But again, it's a quality unto itself. And I will say that I have had times, like in this photo, as you can see, where I have to make sure that the adapter is actually secure against the lens and the camera body, because if it's not, some light leaks in and gives you sort of a soft effect, which is actually kind of neat. It's almost kind of dreamy in a way, but again, had a lot of fun with it. I also do like to take photos of the night sky, including, say, photos like this at Grand Beach back in April of the Orion constellation. You know, and I believe it was a stack of about 4 or 5 photos of the stars themselves, and then one of the foreground that I just painted in Photoshop. You know, I'm kind of getting a lot better with taking photos of the stars than I have been previously. There's also this photo from Okamak Marsh back in October of the comet, not Neowise. I'll put it on the screen. Something Atlas. That's all I remember. But I mean, in this particular photo, I do like the path at Okamak. Let's try saying it one more time. I like how the path at Okamak there sort of meets up with the comet path itself. Kind of makes for you know, quite an interesting composition. And I was also happy that some of the light from the parking lot sort of bled into the left-hand side of the scene with the tree there. And as well, I've also got this photo from the solar eclipse back in April. In this area of the world, we didn't get the full eclipse. We only got, I think it was a 60% eclipse. But the interesting thing about this particular photo was that I rushed home to get my camera. I was at work at the time. Intended to grab 2 ND filters to give my camera sensor enough protection from the sun. Because if you don't use any ND filters or a solar filter, it's going to burn out the sensor in your camera. So I unfortunately forgot one of the filters, and so I wanted to be really careful when shooting the sun. And at one point, I was essentially running to a spot. Got to this spot under a street light, and it's neat. I really like it. I know I say the word neat a lot, but I mean it. One of my favorite types of photography is landscape photography, because it's an excuse to get out into nature and take photos of nature, because it'd be pretty. And fall is also a great time to go out because you got the various different yellows and reds and oranges and browns combined with, you know, whatever scene you're in. and this one in particular with at the Lily Pond in the Whiteshell Provincial Park. You know, I love the road that sort of comes in from the bottom right and just goes right through, and you've got the colors of the trees and the rocks from, you know, the Canadian Shield, because the Whiteshell is actually on the Canadian Shield on the western edge of it. You know, and other photos like, say, this one from St. Malo Provincial Park. It's a nice low-down shot where, you know, my main focus is on the rock and the water, sort of in the foreground, and leading into, you know, down the river to the trees with the colors there. And you know, with water scenes like this, it's always nice and calming. And you know, outside of sort of your almost epic shots of landscapes, you've got sort of more intimate landscape scenes like this at the English Gardens at Assiniboine Park, where it's mainly just a picture of a bench sitting under, you know, the canopy of leaves from a tree. You know, and with some of the photos, I do like to apply a bit of a vintage look to it, just to, you know, enhance things a bit. I will say that I've also had my fair share of Aurora experiences this year. A little bit more than I was expecting. And very impressive. I really like it. I mean, from what I know, we are right at the peak of an 11-year cycle for the Northern Light activity. Like, for example, this photo from, when was it? November at Grand Beach. My wife and I were the only ones at the beach at the time, and my wife was really more concentrating on photographing some stars. I wanted the aurora. We're kind of funny that way. But with this one, I mean, you see the waves of lights, you know, with the greens and yellows and reds in this photo, sort of right above a lifeguard hut at Grand Beach. It wasn't too cold that night, which is surprising for November, but I still had to bundle up a little bit. There's also this photo from, when was it, August? And just sort of the northern lights beaming down on this tree in a farmer's field. Almost heavenly, I guess you could call it. I really like it. And then, of course, back in May, was a very strong showing of the Northern Lights. I ended up going to Camp Morton because I wanted to get some Northern Lights sort of reflecting off the lake, and I think it did. You know, and it's also you know, as you can see, some shooting stars here as well. And I will say one thing I'm really impressed with the Northern Lights is sort of the corona, which it's basically Northern Lights activity that appears right above your head. You know, I kind of hurt my neck a few times just, you know, stretching up to look at it, and it's always impressive. It's always impressive. I've had a few opportunities to get together with other photographers and with models at several different events this year, and I'm not very comfortable with directing models. I'm trying to get better at it, but I usually defer to more experienced photographers in the groups that I've been a part of. But I mean, some of the results I get, I'm pretty happy with. And yeah, you know, I mean, like the photos like this one with Brandon, where I wanted to sort of go with a lot of darkness, a little bit of light. It's it's almost sort of a 1920s, 1930s Berlin aesthetic in my mind. You know, really an old-time feel to it. And playing with other black and white photos with, like, say, this moody photo of Jay sitting in a chair, or this other one, sort of a glamorous Hollywood 1940s look to it. But you know, don't just work in black and white, but I mean, I've got some photos in color, like, say, this one of Carmen, who's decorating a tree in this photo. You know, nice, lots of nice pinks, contrasting against her black goth look. And say this one of her name is Jazzy, where the setting sun is behind her and sort of washing her out a little bit, but in a nice kind of way in terms of washing out. Or this one of Jessica, where you know, the light from the window is you know, contrasted against her overall form there with the hair and the clothes and such. And you know, I really like how that turned out. And this final one of Deanna, you know, very glamorous looking, you know, very beautiful. Had to do a lot of work with this particular photo. Because as you can see in the before here, it's a bit messy in the background. I guess that's sort of what you get with a studio with multiple sets in it. So I had to do a bit of cleanup, and I'm very happy with the results. And you know, I do hope to continue you know, shooting models, and hope to get a lot more comfortable in the future. So I'm actually going to declare it. For most of the other photos that you've seen here, I really haven't put them in any particular order on the list, just because they're, you know, all photos I'm proud of. I can't really pick a number 10 to number 2. The only exception is this one particular photo, which I am going to put as my top photo for 2024. It's a photo taken at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada of a CF-104 Starfighter, which is an aircraft that the Air Force used in the 60s and 70s and into the early 80s before it was replaced by the CF-18 Hornet. The museum had this one particular example of a starfighter, and I really wanted to capture it in sort of low light, with light in some specific places and sort of under a lot of shadow, and in black and white as well, because I think that gave it an extra layer of drama. You know, you've got the light going up the nose cone, the little starburst at the top of the canopy, the light just under the left tail fin there, and sort of various different little bits of lights elsewhere, including light reflected in the nose cone itself. Like, this aircraft is essentially, I think, polished stainless steel. I can't remember, but I really like the drama that this photo brings, and it's my top photo of the year. I will say 2024 has been a bit of a challenge. I haven't been able to go out as often as I'd like to have done this year. Various reasons, won't go into them, but just I've been limited in what I've been able to do. But I have been able to go out on some adventures and have some fun. So yeah, let's get into it.